My grandmother's useless hobby, saving fabric scraps from the garment district, taught me the business model that made me millions. Something felt different when I moved back home after college in 2019. Nana Rosa had boxes stacked floor to ceiling, filled with designer fabric scraps from Calvin Klein, Marc Jacobs, and Donna Karan. I started noticing the labels and realizing these weren't just random pieces of cloth. My stomach dropped when I calculated that she'd been throwing away thousands of dollars worth of materials for 30 years. She had no idea what she was sitting on. Jake and Marcus visited for Christmas that year and couldn't stop mocking the situation. Jake said this old lady's hoarding problem is getting out of hand. Someone needs to call social services. Marcus laughed and added, imagine wasting your retirement collecting literal garbage from Fashion Week dumpsters. When I suggested the fabrics might be valuable, Jake snorted, you're as delusional as she is. Nobody wants used scraps. They spent the entire dinner making jokes about starting a premium trash collection service and asking if I planned to revolutionize the dumpster diving industry. Marcus even posted photos on Instagram with captions about entrepreneurial delusions and tagged 3 of his developer friends. I decided to prove them wrong and spent 6 months learning everything about vintage designer fabrics. I invested $1,200 in professional photography equipment and started researching each piece online. 2 years later, I built a thriving Etsy shop selling authenticated vintage designer fabric collections to costume designers and fashion students. My first major sale was a bundle of 1967 Halston silk scraps that sold for $78,900 to a Broadway costume department. The validation came when Vogue featured my business in their sustainability issue, calling me a textile preservation pioneer. The article included photos of Nana Rosa's original collection methods and quoted fashion historians about the historical value of these materials. 3 different museums reached out asking to purchase specific pieces for their fashion archives. The Metropolitan Museum of Art bought a collection of 1970s Diane von Furstenberg samples for $45,000. Jake got laid off from Google 6 months later when they downsized his entire team. Marcus's startup failed after burning through $2 million in venture capital funding. Meanwhile, my fabric archive business hit $267,000 in revenue last year. I've expanded into selling to film studios and high-end fashion schools across 12 different countries. Nana Rosa still goes to the garment district every Saturday, but now she's my lead fabric scout with her own Instagram following.